Welcome to my animal house. We're down here in the hide and bang. This video is going to be about ball python breeding basics and some tips and tricks. I wanted to make this video because I've paired my snakes a couple times already. I'm a really small time hobbyist, I say, in this hobby. I have a few snakes and I'm going to stay very small. I don't want to be big time and big scale. I don't want any of that. I just kind of want to stay mellow and stay manageable for what I want to do. And my channel is more about a lot of animals instead of just one. But as far as the ball pythons go, it's time right now for me to put some together. I've already put them together a few times already, and I've had a lot of successful locks. Only one time, I think, out of all the pairings that I did, I didn't get a visual lock, and we'll talk about that in another episode. I think the next episode, I'll bring that into what's going on and what I think is actually going to be probably the best tip and the most important tip that's overlooked and joked about, I guess, in this hobby. And I think it should be brought out to the attention of way more importance, because it's like a lot of people do it. And it's just we'll talk about it in the next video. So after this one, we will get to that. So what I wanted to do today is I just kind of wanted to share some of the things that I do when I do pair my ball pythons. And I wanted to share for a couple different reasons. Making this video is going to make two huge benefits to the community, and it's like I'm going to be able to share what I've already learned and what I have going on. I haven't been breeding. This is my first season, but I have had some successful locks, so I'm going to share kind of what I got going on. So that might help other, beginners like myself get a little bit further ahead. And then if there is anything that people think that I'm drastically doing wrong, or if there's some other things that they think I should be doing, hopefully they'll share down in the comments, and then we all benefit from it. So the first thing I want to talk about where I'm just standing here now, before we get into the tubs, and we'll get in there and I'll kind of explain and do what I'm going to do as I'm doing it. I'm going to show you and take you along for the ride. So first thing is weather. A lot of people don't think about it, but I do think weather is very important. It is something that is actually really well known in the hobby, as far as temperatures do change, temperatures will drop, that kind of thing. This room stays at pretty much about 81 to 82 degrees in here. And during the colder times where I'm at, it does get cold in right around the time that they're going to mate anyway. So the temperatures are going to drop down at night, and during the day they stay about the same. But at night the heater's got to work harder to keep it warm, so it will drop down a little bit and then come back up. And that's all good. So the reason why I say weather is just take the time, and it's not that it's like something new and all that kind of thing. It's more of a reminder, and if you didn't know, to let you know. But to just pay attention, grab your phone, check the weather. If you're about to pair some snakes and in 2 days you got a good storm coming in, wait, pair them then. Pair them right before the storm or something, or right as it gets going, because all the barometric pressures change and everything and drop, and it just triggers the snakes and it helps them. So, it's just a tip. If you're going to pair them anyway, and a day or two from now there's a storm, why not wait that day or two and get prime time? Use Mother Nature to your advantage as you're, breeding your ball pythons. So I'll go ahead and open up these tubs, and we'll get in here, and I'll kind of explain what I'm going to do for the next 2 or 3 tips that I do. And we'll put some snakes in here and pair them together and kind of let you know what I'm doing and, which ones I'm pairing together. So here we go. All right, everybody. These are the 2 females that I'm pairing up. This is my Firefly female. She's pastel and fire. And this is my super pastel female, which is 2 copies of the pastel gene, which makes the super. So the next tip as we get into the tub is and they say it with the feeding too. It's like breed them dirty and feed them dirty. And the reason why I say that is just don't clean up nothing. If there's poop in there, which there's not, there's some pee right here. We got some urates, and the paper towel's all funky, which is not really bad. A lot of people, tubs could be worse than this or less than this. But the whole point is don't clean them. I am going to slide her back a little bit so I can get this paper towel kind of right here. And so the biggest thing is I want to remove these little hides anyway, but just leave the tubs dirty. And the biggest thing is you want as many of her smells in here as possible, and it'll intensify here in a little bit, because what I'm going to do is even though we add leave them dirty, let me get the other one. I'll show you her as well. See, she's about to light me up probably. We'll get hers out of there. And here, let me put her up here. She's a beautiful girl. She's you know, and these videos too, as far as the breeding of the snakes is, there's a ton of different advice on as far as the size of the animals and that kind of thing. You know, they say males, you know, I've heard people say that 400 to 500 grams. Some people say 600 to 800 grams. Just make sure your males are healthy in my book, you know. If they're over probably, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, 100 grams, if they're healthy and they can do, you know, do their business, then go ahead and let them. Females, they say it's not that they say, it's really a lot more important for them to have a lot of weight. And not a lot of weight like obese, but during this time they are going to plump up and they're going to save, because they need as much of the fat reserves as they can for the snakes and to go through this whole process. So you know, as you're breeding them, as far as the size, some people say, oh, in the wild, they'll breed, you know, at whatever grams and this and that. You know, that's all up to you, and that's why I'm not really going to get into it. These girls are over 2 years old, and this one's over 1,900 grams. The other one's over 2,000 grams. So they're both, these girls are big enough in my eyes, so we're going to go ahead and pair them together, which, like I said, I have a couple times already. So now that, like I said, don't change the paper towels. These ain't very dirty. None of that kind of thing. So just leave them, just basically don't clean the tub. And the second one is usually what I do is I'll just dump a little bit of the water right here onto the paper towel to where it'll start getting that moist. We'll do that to this girl too, especially hers because she's got all the murates on there. We'll just pour some of the water out. Doesn't seem like a lot, but these tubs are going to turn into just a humid mess in here in a little bit anyway. And the other thing is I have another male over there. It's a pinstripe. It's not involved in any of these breedings. I'm going to stick a couple of, you know, a little bit of a shed. You don't have to stick the whole shed in there. If you only got one that's from a different male than the ones you're pairing up or whatever, just, you know, break a chunk of that off. And just because you'll get another scent of the male and that'll get her, you know, going like, hey, what's going on? The male will think he's got competition, so then that'll trigger him to work a little harder. And I'll just kind of get that little piece of skin wet to kind of agitate it up a little bit. So then we got it dirty. We got another skin in there, you know, that's going to agitate. And with the water on the paper towels, all of the pheromones in here, the smells and all that are going to get going. And now all we have to do, we can add a little piece of skin to the next one. So that's basically the four things that I do. Piece of this skin too here, and it's just, you know, is this, you just kind of get the skins in here, get these smells in here, and bang, it's all right, girl. I was just getting a little bit in there. See, they're already moving around, their smells. This is going to trigger a little bit. The females are going to say, hey, what's going on? So basically, like I said, you know, most important are, you know, to make sure your animals are healthy and ready to breed. And then, like I said, just wait for a good weather change that's going to trigger them a little bit. Don't clean the tubs, throw in another skin. There's people that'll throw in actually 2 males in the beginning and kind of let them tussle a little bit and try to show off for the female and that kind of thing. I'm not big on it. I think you can get the same kind of effect with just the other skin, like I said. And get the pheromones in there to where you don't have the total stress of having another animal in there. And then there's no chance of the males fighting and hurting each other. So these are just kind of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and throw these males in there. I'll tell you which male's going with what. And then as the next day or two go on, and if I get any locks or, you know, and I'll kind of show you how the tub, they're going to end up going to the bathroom in here. The male's going to try to put his scents in here. So he'll go to the bathroom. It'll be just a big old mess. So, and that's what you want until they're breeding, and then afterwards we'll do a whole nother video on what do you do afterwards. You just clean them up and that kind of thing. But for now, I'm going to introduce some males. All right, let's get to introducing a male. Oh, this girl, she's all ready to go quit now. See, she's ready. She's like, you bringing a male or you bringing me some food? And we're going to bring you the Joker. This is my clown ball python. He's a single gene recessive, and she's a super pastel. So when they mate, all the babies will be pastel, and I think it's 50% will be het clown. So we'll go ahead and we'll introduce these two. And like I said, we'll get some progress pictures on those two as they go. And all right, for the firefly female, I got my male. This is a ghost Mojave spider. So we're going to add him to the mix. There's going to be a whole buffet coming out of this one. So stay tuned for all them results as well. Hopefully we get a couple clutches this year. You going to go in there? There you go. So, yep, that's my bag of tricks. That's what I do. I'm going to leave these guys together for 2-3 days. If I see a lock right away and then, you know, they're together for a while and then they unlock, I'll probably leave them for a day or so. If I don't see any lock, maybe 3 days. But as soon as we see some locks and some activities, once the tubs get all funky and nasty, I'll kind of show you the progress of that and hopefully some locks, and then we'll call this video good. So hopefully this video helped you, and keep watching out for other content. Next week's video, like I said, is probably the most underrated tip that anybody should pay attention to the most. So we'll go over that and look forward to that video, and we'll get to the outro. Thanks for watching. That's my tips and tricks. I just want to thank everybody for, if you've made it this far into the video, or if you watched any part of the video that benefits you. These are just my tips and tricks. This is what makes sense to me, and all the things that I read, and I watch a lot of other people. I see people doing this, that, and another. These are the things that I do for my snakes. I think it works. I've got a lot of visual locks. No, I haven't had any eggs yet, but someday I will. Fingers crossed. It will happen. You know, and that's the thing about all this. You know, this is what's working for me. If it doesn't work for you, then let me know down in the comments. If I'm doing something right or wrong, or, you know, what your story is, let me know. You know, share the information. You know, and if you have any questions along the way, if something that I didn't cover or something that you need to know right now, every Tuesday I do a live stream. I clean the rodents and the reptiles, the snakes, and the lizards and that kind of thing. And it's a couple hours long. There's a lot of credible people in this community within that do a lot of live streams too. They're all there. They attend the show and they're very helpful. And also on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do with Iron Dog Reptiles, I do what's called the Iron Animal Show. And a ton of helpful people that are in there. We do interviews, sometimes just open chat. It's all about YouTube, reptiles, life in general. It's an amazing time. So if you ever want to come and kick it, ask some questions, or just hang out with a bunch of awesome people, check out both them channels, mine and Iron Dog Reptiles. And anybody that's affiliated with any of these lives, if you see them in there, hook these people up, get with them, because they're going to have amazing content as well. So until next time, hopefully this video helped you. Take care and breed wild.